First off, rest in peace, neighborhood nip. I ain't crip, but I'm on that neighborhood shoot. Building business, it's that black owned. If you hustle, better hustle till your pack gone. If you work, better work till your back hurt. And if you rap, make it better than your last verse. Yeah, more lyrics. Stick and move, Javante.
AJ, El Presidente, Eddie Kane University. Hill gon' heal, regardless. You, Buchanan, Bethel High School, by way of 3-Man Weave, LLC.
Michelle, producer, based over here.
You can catch this wave from the Marlins to the Mavericks. Doing things you can't believe. It's the 3-Man Weave.
What up? What up? What up? We back again with another episode of the 3-Man Weave podcast. I am the ringleader of this thing here today. Gonna get us started. So I am AJ, 1/3 of the 3-Man Weave podcast, and we got special guests with us. But first, let me get into my co-host, Mr. Back from Vacation, Mr. Free Hilly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Kofi.
Hill Bo.
There you go.
As you can see, the tan hitting.
All right. I just thought you didn't have your spotlight on today. I ain't
the light on. I'm letting y'all know I'm part of the dark skin community now. You know what I'm saying? They embrace your boy. You know what I'm saying?
You gonna be kicked out in 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
I got beige tendencies sometimes. So it's your boy Hill. He'll go here regardless, baby. Let's get it.
Go ahead. We got a returning guest with us today. Our guy, J Bess from
Yo, man. What's up? Well, this is the last member of the light skin community since we lost one. Since we just lost one a couple of days ago. This is the last member. But yeah, y'all can check me out at Straight to the Point Podcast on YouTube, and then my IG account at Straight to the Point Podcast.
Oh man, let's get into it. Let's get right into it. I've been on vacation. I've been a little bit off the grid, willingly, but I did get a notification. We had a big contract that just hit. You know what I'm saying? We've been waiting on this one for at least a year now. You know what I'm saying? Justin Jefferson, got that most money, non-guaranteed for a quarterback hitting out for, you know what I'm saying? Let's talk about that first in that aspect. Last year it was reported that he turned down $30 million. It's been reported that the Tyreek Hill's $30 million is a little bit kind of phony when you break it down in the logistics of the contract. So when you hear about him just turning down a legitimate 30 at the time last year, I thought he was kind of crazy because at the time nobody was getting more than 30. It was him and Devontae. You know what I'm saying? As fake as you could think they were, it was him and Devontae at 30. Then you see other people that past 30. I think Amon Ra got 31. AJ Brown got another raise and went up to 32. He was like, man, we've been hearing reports that he was going to get to 35. Like 35 was going to be his number. And as crazy as it sounded in some of the reports, we kept hearing that number was going to be the number. And once he signed on the dotted line, it was that number. And for him to miss as many games as he's missed last season, for Kurt to miss the games that he missed last season, for him to still get 1,000 yards, lets you further know that he is one of the ones. If he is not the best, he is one of the best. You're not getting past 3 when you talk about Justin Jefferson. So I think this is well deserved, especially if they let Kurt walk. But we'll see. They did a lot of things in this free agency this whole season.
Absolutely. And I think, kind of with some of the stuff that they had, pending, is almost like, do we want to hinge the rest of our career on, the rest of these next couple seasons on Kurt coming off of this Achilles, or hitch the wagon, really pony up the money for Justin Jefferson, make him, pay him for what he has done so far and what you plan for him to do, and try and reset this kind of, cap that we have and stuff, and get cheaper elsewhere, get cheaper at quarterback, stuff like that. And to me, who knows what they did, who knows what JJ McCarthy will become. But with KOC at the helm, I do think that to me, this was kind of like the better decision. Even if JJ McCarthy isn't that great, I think he'll be able to get stuff out of whoever's at quarterback, and they'll be able to put a product on the field that is decent. We've seen Brian Flores, what he can do with defenses. So I think that even still, I think this is a good way to kind of move forward and get younger. And then now you bring in a young quarterback. Let's not forget, you still got Hawkinson and you got Jordan Addison too. So there's some weapons out there to work with. What you think about it, Jay?
I think that it was smart, of course. When you look at the roster, right? Who outside of Justin Jefferson deserves a big payday? Like a huge payday, you know what I'm saying? So it's pretty easy for them to say, you know what, we can go ahead and pay you, Justin. And then we got younger with the quarterback position, right? You got Jordan Addison, who's not due till a couple of years from now. So it was smart. But one thing that I got a problem with just contracts in general, I don't like this whole next man up gets to reset the market. I don't like it. And that's with any position, quarterback, with receivers. I don't like that because I feel like you should get paid based on your performance and based on what you can do for the team. I feel like so many times we just say, okay, you next, so we can go ahead and increase the dollar. And it was talks about Tua, how he might end up being the highest paid like that. Like, come on, he's not even top 10 quarterback in the league. Mm-hmm. So I don't like how next man up get the big payday. You should get paid based on your performance versus what the last man got, because the last man probably deserved more than you. So
let me. My fault. I didn't mean to interrupt. But when you said you should get paid based off of your performance, okay, that is a team mentality. As a player mentality, there is also another side to that coin. It's not just I'm getting because when you're negotiating a contract, and are you paying me for what I've already done, or are you paying me for what you project for me to do?
Yeah.
Because those are two different things. Because if you're paying me for what I've already done, and you don't feel that I'm worth, a certain level or whatever the case may be, why even continue to negotiate with me if you don't feel that I am kind of like on par with what, is where things are going? Because again, that's with anything. Like if you go for a job interview and you already have a job and there's a contract range, like they say, hey, we can pay between this amount and this amount. And you go in, say the pay range is between $65,000 a year and $85,000 a year. I make $70,000 a year in my current role. For me going to this other job, I'm not going to say, do I want am I going to take a lateral move? No, I'm always going to try and, get a little bit more. But then guess what? If my current job, I can go back to my current job and be like, hey, I can get 85,000 on the market.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to match this offer? Or do you want to let me walk? And then you have to fill this job. You don't know what you're filling this job with. You're filling it with the unknown, and training can cost a lot more than just the extra $10,000 bump that you may have to give me. So then now you're doing, so now there's always that unknown, and you don't even know if the person that you're going to have to pay the market value with, because they may come in and still request that, or you might not even get that.
But using your same analogy, what kind of employee are you? What kind of employee are you? Are you one of the great employees, the one that this company can't thrive without of? Or you always showing up late? We got to see if you're gonna finish your assignment. We got to do you questionable. Your ass is replaceable. So what he's saying is both of y'all are saying is, yeah, like when he used to, let's stick with Tua as the example, because we do agree that Justin Jefferson is one of the best, and he should have got his money. Right?
Can I use it? Can I use this example since we were already on Justin Jefferson?
Okay.
Why can't CeeDee Lamb make more than Justin Jefferson? Why can't Jamar Chase make more than Justin Jefferson? Because they are the next man up. Even if we say Justin Jefferson is the number one guy, why can't they make more?
Because of the production.
here's my thing,
but the
because
production, because if that's the case, if we're paying off the production hands down is Justin Jefferson.
right, but
100%.
production hands down is Justin Jefferson. But there's other nuance factors that goes into that.
Absolutely.
And then with the thing about it is, okay, not everyone that's up next always gets paid, the most, because Jared Goff didn't reset the market. He got less. He got less. And who was it? Michael Pittman. He's the number one. He didn't reset the market. But those guys in that tier, they can all make a case that I can reset the market. And that's what I'm going to. I'm not just saying everybody can reset the market. Tyreek Hill, he can come back up and reset the market. Why? Because of his production is in that ballpark. CeeDee Lamb, he doesn't have the all pros that Justin Jefferson got. But guess what? You put those numbers next to each other.
Yeah, they early similar.
He could put a case to it, and like Bookham told Moonroof Martinez, a little more lip, a little less grip. Because guess what? Like it or not, I'm the best nigga you got. It goes. You may be able to go out and get a play, and that's what I'm saying. When you talk about what kind of employee are you, those guys, yeah, those are the employees where it's like that's your star employee.
Yes.
So it ain't just, we about to just go out there and find another CeeDee Lamb. We're not just about to go out there and find another Jamar Chase.
Of course, but like I said, when it comes to of course we can pick and choose which example we want to use. Brian Burns has got $30 million this year. What has Brian Burns done to deserve a $30 million? And when I say deserve, don't mean I'm discrediting him as a player or I'm trying to take away from his money. But he ain't up echelon when it comes to the elite pass rusher. It's a litany of names that we can get to before we get to Brian Burns. Does he have the potential to reach that tier? That's still up to debate. But he got $30 million because he was what? Next up in the edge in the pass rushing position.
But here's again. I understand what you're saying. Like, he's not a Joey Bosa. He's not a Myles Garrett. He's not naming him. He's not
he ain't Trey Hendrickson.
TJ Watt. But prior to, like, he has there's those things, like there's those nuanced factors. Like, he was on the Carolina Panthers and he was still productive as the only guy. So when he says that, and he's coming off a 12.5 sack season, he has that in his bag. He's always been one of those guys on the fringe of, double-digit sacks consistently. He's always put up 8, 9.5, and then he had the 12.5 sack season as the only guy on that defensive front, where it's just like, hey, they're game planning for you, they're doing that, and you're still doing, like, giving us this production. Then it's just like, well, shit. On the open market, people are going to feel like, damn, I could do something with that. That just goes back to my analogy of in the workforce. If I have AWS certification and I've been doing this, and then I could give you projects that I've been doing. I may have been working with a small company and it's not making a true dent, but you see, like, damn, he's managed $1 million project here, a $12 million project here, and he's doing it there. Like, he could do it. So on the open market, I get my resume here, I get a resume here, and I got 3 offers now and saying, hey, I don't want less than 100, 115. People got to start thinking like, damn.
It's leverage.
It's leverage. He's got leverage.
Who is he?
Brian Burns.
He had leverage for who?
So the Rams wanted to trade 2 first-round picks for him. He ended up getting, it wasn't like he was just like nobody wanted Brian Burns. It's obvious Brian Burns had leverage because he got the money that he wanted. That's leverage.
He definitely wanted Brian for sure.
So that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying.
We've seen bad contracts before. Let's not act like we haven't seen bad contracts before.
Of course we've seen bad contracts before, but that plays into leverage. That's how Calvin Ridley got his money. Leverage.
Yes, because he was the only wide receiver on the market that was available.
Leverage.
That's leverage. It was other people who was available other than it was other people that was available.
But who else was available that had the potential and some of the production that he had?
Daniil Hunter just had a way better season. They had a way better season than Brian Burns and got less than him. I know his contract was essentially fully guaranteed, But if you're talking about, I mean, the next man up, but he didn't get that. He didn't get that.
But again, but who knows? Like the conversation. Brian Burns may have fake money in there, and Danielle Hunter said, "Don't give me the fake money. Just what's Brian Burns' real money? Give me that. Okay. Why even play? You know what I'm saying? So so those are the nuanced things.
Do all the nuance things that we are discussing. But like I said, I do get the premise of what Jalen is saying. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just because you next up, bro, like you say, hey, bro, hey, I'll use that. Hey, bro, just because you next up don't mean that you need to be getting 60 million. Like, I get it. You are a quarterback. Quarterbacks are different. But like say 60 million is it's a little far-fetched anyway. I don't think that's the real number essentially that he's going to get or will get. Let's just say 55 is the real number. Okay. Why?
Yeah, because that's the thing though. When I talk to Cowboys fans,
if he hits the open market, would he get 55?
Yes, you always get more money in the open market.
But why would I pay? That's the thing. Why would I pay Dak 55? That's my question.
But I mean, because that's the top 10 quarterback, and you need a quarterback to do anything.
Exactly, and that's all I'm saying. It's like the decision that you have to make is: do you want to pay this, or do you want to restart? If you want to, if you don't want to start at square one, you kind of got to think about paying it.
The only reason I use Dak as an example because Jared Goff was mentioned. Right, Jared Goff, they're in the same draft class. Jared Goff got their first contract. Jared Goff got paid before him. Jared Goff had took his team to a Super Bowl. Now I'm of the mindset that hey, Jared Goff took his team to the Super Bowl. You shouldn't be getting paid more than Jared Goff. He's in your class. He's in your tier.
Yeah.
Why are we paying you more than just because you're up next? That's what that's the point that's the negotiation stance that I'm willing to take. With all the players.
Yeah, and he just made the NFC Championship last year.
And he made an NFC Championship again. So he's making $52 million a year. If I'm the Cowboys, I'm looking at, hey, look, bro, you can get the Jared Goff contract or you can get out of my face. That's how I'm looking at it. And now, just because you're up next and because you're free doesn't mean that you need to clip 55.
That's my point. Yeah, just because you're up next don't mean because Jared Goff is the second highest paid right now. And I feel like in a perfect world, when you look at the quarterbacks in the NFL, as I go the best quarterback, the second best, the third best, I feel like your money should match where you are on the rankings. You see what I'm saying? Like Jared Goff is not the second best quarterback in the NFL, but he's the second highest paid quarterback. Like that's where my problem is. I just feel like in a perfect world, it would be okay. Mahomes the best, you paid the most. Whoever you got second,
but he signed that contract.
He was the first one that hit that. Yeah, so his next one definitely gonna be out of this world. I don't even know what he definitely gonna reset the market. He has to.
But I get it. You preface yourself by saying in a perfect world.
Yeah,
because in all sports it doesn't even go like that. Like
and that's what I'm saying. All I'm saying is in all to me, the only time that we talk about this is football, and it's because it's a cap sport. No. What I'm saying is the contracts that get tossed around is all right, yeah, Reggie Jackson is a supermax player. Yes, he shouldn't be a supermax player, but nobody says you shouldn't be able to sign this because sometimes when you hit certain things, you can get those supermax things, and you get those escalators, it'll force you to do that. The only difference is there's 53 people that got to get paid in football, and so if you getting 20% of this money, it just looks bad, and half the time it ages bad, and they be like, oh, you can't win with this amount of money going to this player on this amount of cap. But again, all I'm saying is that's your front office decision. Do you want to pay this guy, or do you want to reset and try and get somewhere else? We've seen it with the Kansas City Chiefs. They said, we're not going to pay you, Tyreek Hill. We'll change you and reset. Guess what? They did it and won 2 Super Bowls since he's been gone. The Miami Dolphins paid him, and they haven't done it. So guess what? The Minnesota Vikings, they could have said, you know what? Oh, we're gonna trade Justin Jefferson the same way we did Stephon Diggs because we don't want to pay him and restart. But no, they decided to pay him.
But at the same time, You know what messed up the Tyreek Hill negotiation?
What?
The Christian Kirk contract. When he surpassed getting 20 million for, and everybody like, whoa, Christian Kirk getting 20 million. Oh, I got to get 25 off the rip. You got, you got to pay me way more than that. So a bad contract does more damage than actually paying some other guys.
Okay,
Like,
it's the same thing. Like it's the same thing we could have said. Like when we seen like Calvin Ridley. Like, hey, dog, like he wasn't. I know. So again, we said so. If Calvin Ridley getting this, Justin Jefferson said, "No, I want 40."
That's what we saying about these bad contracts.
But that's what I'm. But again, it don't matter because again, someone was willing to pay it, and then again, like Christian
Kirk
Kirk
willing to pay that. But then now when the big dogs
wait. Let me finish. Let me finish. Christian Kirk got that 20. The Jaguars, I think the Jaguars are fine. Like, all right, he did a little bit because now the 20 that you gave Christian Kirk with the way that the salary cap is going, it ain't as crazy as it looked at the day of signing.
As it was back then, yeah.
So again,
but he ruined that. That's the thing.
Did he ruin it, or did they say, fuck it, we're the Jacksonville Jaguars, for us to go get our guy, we got to go overpay?
That too. In that year, they did have the most salary cap. So they was just throwing out money for real. So
then again, I'm not saying, just because, the next up, do you have to reset the market? No, but if you are in that, if you can put yourself in that conversation and you are next up, force that, like you can either say, hey, y'all can pay it or no, and we'll go somewhere else. It's the same thing that happened with T. Higgins. Hey, do y'all want to pay me what I'm worth as a high-level number 2 receiver where I can go somewhere else and get number 1 money, or don't? No? Okay. Franchise tag me and then I'm out this bitch. Then someone's going to pay me.
Let's say quick. Do you think Jamar Chase is getting paid this offseason?
No, because why would Jamar Chase sign this offseason?
Hey, watch your tone.
No, said what the fuck I said. Because here's my thing.
I agree with you.
Why would Jamar Chase want to sign this offseason? Because let CD get his money. Because again, I think CD can go ahead and I think CD is going to get more money than Justin Jefferson.
I don't, but
I believe the way it's going, I believe CD has the ability to discuss, hey, I can get it. I'm not saying it's going to be more. I'm saying it could be they tack on another $1 million or something like that. Something but just to kind of overshoot it. And so again, I believe. Go ahead.
He has an argument. Don't get me wrong.
That's all I'm saying. He has the argument.
I think the fact that I'm gonna use 2 examples. They already messed up. The litmus test last year should have been the old AJ Brown deal.
Right.
Now paying him more than AJ Brown before last season would have looked like sticker shock because at the time AJ Brown was still better than him at the time. Now, after last season, I believe that CD has surpassed AJ Brown. Not taking anything away from AJ Brown, but still think AJ Brown is still one of the ones. But I believe that CD had just surpassed him on another level. So now you went from 25 to now you went to 30. You could have got this done with the CD way before Justin Jefferson. You could have got this done before him waiting for Justin Jefferson. Now I think that he's only waiting for Justin Jefferson because he was like, hey, Justin Jefferson was always my max. So now if we go back to when Dez was franchise tagged and Demaryius Thomas, rest in peace, was franchise tagged at the same time, they signed the same exact deal, and I believe that Dez got $500K more. It was the same exact deal, and Dez just only got $500K more. So I just believe that, hey, this is what Justin Jefferson got. I believe it's going to come slightly under it because that was already your ceiling.
But that's my point about sometimes like the next man up resetting the market, because like I said, I'm not saying Jalen Waddle was supposed to reset the market, but when you got guys that are that have put themselves in that conversation, like Tyreek Hill, like CeeDee Lamb, like Jamar Chase, there's an argument to be made because you look you look at the numbers that CD Lamb has put up in his career. Hey, it ain't ridiculous for him to say, well, yeah, like I deserve this money because, like you said, that's his max. Jamar Chase. This is year 4. Like this is first time being able to negotiate a contract. So he always said, "Oh, I'm waiting to get my deal done until Justin Jefferson signs." But he don't have to sign this offseason because guess what? He can go out and be offensive player of the year, put up 1,800 yards, and then be like, "Oh shit!"
So
I'm on a bag.
How much increase is it? Do you think the wide receiver market is going to be there?
It just all depends on what. So here's my thing. It depends on
what Chase does.
What
you can just say that.
No, not even that. What happens? So like, what happens with CD Lamb? Does CD Lamb sign this offseason? And what? Because if he signs like you said, if he signs with like 500,000, 1 million more than Justin Jefferson, I believe there's a Tyreek Hill that can get another one. There's a Jamar Chase that can reset that kind of thing. I don't think it's going to be like those super exponential jumps, but I don't think Justin Jefferson is the highest paid receiver very long.
So
I think
if it's not going to be a super exponential jump, then why not sign this offseason?
For who?
Jamar Chase.
Because if he comes out, because there is no rush for him to, and then like I said, if it's CeeDee Lamb if Tyreek Hill comes out and gets 2 million more than that, and then then Jamar Chase comes out and goes all pro and leads the league, in yards or something like that, he has the case of getting an extra, 5 million, an extra, 4 million, instead of it just being, a $2 million, bump over that. It could be, he could end up getting 40 something. You get what I'm saying?
So that was the number that I was essentially asking about. So
he could have the case to, putting, like I said, a $40 million spot, a different level of guarantees. And then it just puts more pressure of you got to get the deal done or lose Jamar Chase because you don't have, these 2 seasons to work with now. You get what I'm saying?
Good.
Yeah. But real quick, so the Vikings could afford to break the bank with Justin Jefferson. Mm-hmm. Can the Cowboys, so what does Micah do? Because I know he's due soon. So can y'all afford to break the bank with CD and kind of surpass that Justin Jefferson number?
Can they afford it? Yes.
Can they afford it? Yeah.
The answer is yes. Now, do they want to?
Right.
Yeah, because that's going.
Because the thing about this offseason, if they would have paid Dak, if they would have got the CD extension done, they could have freed up more cap space this offseason to do other things. They could have freed up some cap space. Like I said, CD's playing on the 5th-year option this year. They could have finessed the numbers with that contract and at least lower the cap and maximize the cap space. Once again, this is year 4 for Micah. They have he's going to play on the 5th-year option next year. Yep. So even if he signs a new extension, it's not going to kick in for another 2 years. These numbers can be finessed. They have the money and they're staggering. So this cap hit not hitting this year. This cap hit not hitting this year. You feel what I'm saying? So they could do it. They could do it.
Yeah, but y'all had mentioned the NBA about their contracts and stuff like that. So Jaylen Brown making almost $300 million, right? Is he a $300 million player? Is my like that? That's it. How you said what?
I said they paid it.
They did. You're right, but does he deserve that $300 million? That's my point. It's kind of like the NFL thing. Like, here's
my thing. If someone is offering it to you, you deserve it. If like I always say, when I got this job that I'm at now, I went into that interview and I was like, damn, they kicked my ass. This is the hardest interview I've ever done. As soon as I got home, I called my mom. I'm like, hey, yeah, I ain't getting that one. So I'm taking this. I'm taking this offer that was already on the table, across my heart. I won't that. But I'm not lying. That shit was a $20 difference in the offer that I already had and this offer that they gave me. $20,000. I'm sorry, a $20,000 difference in the money that that they offered me versus the offer that I had on the table. And I told my mom, I was like, I'm way too underqualified for this shit, but I accepted the job. And then just like 2 years later down the line, my boss told me, he was like, hey, look, I like your ability as a communicator. This tech shit and all of this stuff, I can teach you all of that. But you brought some stuff to the table that I didn't believe we could find in anyone else that would fit this culture and fit this team. And I wanted that. I could teach you the rest. So he felt I was worth that. So it's not like, oh, this is what I'm coming to the table. Like, I had never made this amount of money in my life. So when I was saying, hey, this is what I expect, they overshot that by a lot. So was I not worth it? Because I was worth it to him.
Yeah, of course.
So Jaylen Brown's worth $300 million. Too. So again, he was worth $300 million to the Boston Celtics. I wasn't the only person that interviewed for this job. I know that for certain because I was with people, while I was in the lobby seeing people walk out. So they gave it to me though. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yes, I was worth it. So is Jaylen Brown worth $300 million? Absolutely.
That's it. We can stay on that topic. We can stay on that topic for days, or the worth and thing. But let's get to the topic at hand. We got the NBA Finals, man. Got the NBA Finals. I see you perking up, man. I see you perking up, Jaylen, man. We're gonna let you start the show. We got you, Kev. We heard you last time. We had you on here joining us. We were doing the mid-season awards, and it said you had your pom-poms out. You was out here rocking for your guy Luka. So we will just go ahead. We will let it clear out and let you go ahead and hit this Luka love fest that you got going on, man. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Let me cook. All right. So look, them pom-poms that got 3 times bigger. All right. I will be the first to admit, because I feel like I got to be real. When they made the trade for Kyrie, I was one of the ones that came out and said it wasn't going to work just because of the style of play of both of those players. Luka's usage rate is so high, and it's so much like when LeBron was in Cleveland. I think Luka's usage rate is higher than what LeBron was, right? So Kyrie kind of fit better with LeBron to me than he would with Luka. But now that it done worked, I got to roll with it, right? Like I thought it wasn't going to work, but now I got to roll with it.
Hindsight. It's like, hindsight shit.
It's over. And then last year, remember, they had fell off at the end of the season, ended up missing the playoffs. So I thought I was right, but now something's telling me that they kind of tanked a little bit.
Oh, they did
last season when I thought it just wasn't working. But hey, Kyrie he understands his role. Period, point blank. Like he didn't come here thinking that I'm the guy, Luka, watch out. He came here knowing that Luka's the guy. I'm gonna fit in where I fit in. I think that's why it has worked out perfectly. But in the finals, man, I'm going with the Mavericks, of course. And I'm gonna go with the Mavericks in 6. I think it's gonna go like the Clippers series a little bit. I think Boston gonna win the first game. I think Dallas gonna win the second and third. Boston will tie it up with the 4th. It's going back to Boston tied 2-2. And then Luka in the game, going to steal a game in 5. And then come back home in 6 and go ahead and finish it out. So I got 3 reasons why I got the Mavs winning this series. Number 1 is Luka. It's Luka. I mean, I came out here and actually before the season started, I had made my top 10 players in the NBA. And I put Luka number 1. And I got killed for it. Trust me, DMs was blowing up. Luka not the best player. Okay. Watch this. In this season, he showed y'all that he is the best player in the league. This is the first time in history a player has headed into the finals, leading the playoffs in points, rebounds, and assists. All right, he leads every category going into the finals. First time it's been done. And if you realize, Luka has gotten better every single series. All right, the first series he came out. Remember, he was hurt a little bit, so he was like, okay, how's this playoff run gonna go? Because he looked a little hobbled. Then the second round, game 5 and game 6 against OKC, he picked it up. And I was like, okay, it's over with now. Then the Timberwolves series, he had a great series. I believe only one game he had under 30 points. So we're looking at a guy that's getting hot and going into the finals, right? Getting better every single round. And not only that, but he's already an all-time playoff performer. I think he's second in points per game, only behind Michael Jordan, who a lot of people say is the GOAT, right? He's top 10 in assists per game, but he's in a list with Magic Johnson, John Stockton, some of the best passers the game has ever seen. So we're looking at a historic playoff performer getting hot as the playoffs go. My second reason, I don't think the Celtics have battle tested enough, right? They've had pretty much an easy run to the finals. You look at the first round with Miami, I think if Jimmy Butler played, I would have came out and said Miami will win that series. Like, that's just how I feel about Miami with Jimmy Butler. But Jimmy Butler was hurt. Then you look at the second round, he played the Cavs. Donovan Mitchell didn't play the whole series. And it was 2-1 when Donovan Mitchell got hurt. So it could have went longer. Not saying the Celtics would have lost, but it could have been a longer series. And then this year, they played the Pacers, right? And if y'all watch that Pacers series, there's 3 games where the Pacers gave it away. Game 1, that turnover at the end when Jaylen Brown hit the buzzer. Game 3 and game 4, was turnovers at the end of the game that let the Celtics win. So the Celtics, to me, didn't really sweep them. Indiana lost that series, right? They wouldn't have got swept if they would have took care of them games, at least one of them, right? But then if you look at this year, they played 10 teams in the West, right? They had 50 plus wins, and they went 5-5 against those 10 teams. All right. Then when you look at the playoffs, every team they played leading up to the finals, neither one of them teams had 50 wins this season. All right. So I'm looking at a team in the Celtics, not taking nothing away from them, but y'all have not played anybody yet. And I feel like the jump you're about to take from the Pacers to the Mavericks is about to be a huge jump. So I feel like they just not ready for it yet. And then last but not least, remember Donald, we talked about this with the Minnesota Timberwolves defense, right?
Yeah.
remember in the against the Nuggets, they was being talked about as historic defense, right? We haven't seen this kind of defense since the 90s. Right. That's how they was being talked about, especially after that game 2, when they just smothered the Denver Nuggets. Right. Remember, I came to you and I was like, I think the Denver Nuggets are a little cold right now. Not necessarily the defense, but the defense was being talked about like that. In the Western Conference Finals, Luka and Kyrie cooked them. Like all the way cooked, like overcooked. Right. So if they can do that against a defense that we looked at as one of the best since the 90s, then I don't think they'll have a problem doing it against the Boston Celtics.
Well, let me go AJ because I swear I think you're gonna take some of my points. So I don't want you to take none of my points.
I understand.
So I'm gonna go. I got the Celtics in 7. And all that you said about the Celtics is true. Celtics had an easy road. They, everybody got hurt against who they played. They didn't play such and such. They didn't play this and that, and all that is all true. I'm not ignoring none of that. But what I am going to highlight is the matchup. Team match up with the Mavs very well. Like,
Yeah.
I get it. I'm not saying that Luka is going to get shut down, but Derek White can definitely handle that matchup. And if Derek White can't handle the matchup, you have Tatum, you have Jaylen Brown, then you have more bodies that you can actually throw at Luka. That's in the starting lineup alone. That can just go. These are bodies that can go at Luka. Can Drew Holiday shut down Kyrie Irving? I mean, that's exactly what you got Drew Holiday for. I'm not saying he's going to shut him down, but that matchup is definitely not. He ain't about to look like Uncle Drew every night. You know what I'm saying? And Kyrie definitely looked a little different when they changed the matchup, put Jaden McDaniels on him instead of having Anthony Edwards on him. Getting Porzingis back is going to be helpful. I don't really think that they necessarily needed him in this series because they didn't necessarily have to be big, but to have a big that they can still match up small as well with them is very
Stretch
true.
and shoot. Yep.
On the flip side, who's really going to guard Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown? Like, you really don't have. Like, they have a good they playing very well on defense. Their team defense is definitely underappreciated if you want to be technical about the Mavs. Everybody want to highlight their offense, but everybody's playing Luka's even playing defense. Kyrie playing defense. Yeah, Derek Jones, Dream, PJ Washington, Gafford and Lively. They have a good team defense, but individually, when it comes to the matchup, if Tatum's cooking, who's stopping him? If Jaylen Brown's cooking, who's stopping him? Like I said, you have Derek White as well. Drew Holiday ain't no slouch. Like I said, the matchups that they actually have, this team matches up very well with the battle-tested Mavs. Like, I get it. Timberwolves matched up very well with the Nuggets. They did not match up very well with the Mavs. So it looked a little lopsided when it comes to, and then also the boy ain't make no adjustments, but that's why they gone. That's why they not here. The reason why I say 7, because we know the Celtics got a thought game in them.
Easily.
We know they got a thought game.
Easily gonna just be a game like what happened.
Yeah, like what was this? Like they can't now. Nobody can shoot. Like nobody can shoot. Oh, all of a sudden you don't have a left, Jaylen Brown. Like these are gonna have one of these games that they don't look like they know how to play basketball. They have one each series. You know what I'm saying? Now it's gonna come back to hurt them against the Mavs. Possibility. AJ, the floor is yours.
Right, and so I have an issue with the not calling them not battle tested, the Celtics. I understand we feel like they've had an easy road so far in this playoffs, but also, are we not talking about a team that has Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Drew Holiday? Isn't Drew Holiday NBA champion and has, NBA finals experience, doesn't Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown as the two stars of your team, haven't they been basically in the Eastern Conference Finals their entire career and then played against the Warriors in the finals as their first time, ever in an NBA Finals? Do you not have the experience of Al Horford on this team? You know what I'm saying? So, yes, you may feel like they have an easy road, but this ain't their first time being in this situation. We've talked about, everyone used to tell me about, LeBron always had the easiest road to the finals in the East. Didn't stop him from winning it. And again, right, yes. But neither one of these teams got LeBron. So I don't see how it's just like, you got an easy road. Nah, you get you get there and you win. They've been battled, to me, they've been battle tested before. They have the experience. They got the guys that have been battle tested. You like I said, Drew Holiday has a ring. Mm-hmm. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they've been here before. They've been against one of what we felt like was one of the, the better dynasties of the time. I know that was a surprising ring that they got, but that team was battle tested. They were not. Mm-hmm. Now they got that experience. You know what I'm saying? So again, I don't see how we can just, chalk it up and be like, they don't know what's coming. They don't know what to expect. They like I said, so because they had it so easy, again, I'll take it a step further. Just like Tom Brady. Tom Brady was going through the AFC East the whole season. 2 games against the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Bills, who was all ass cheeks. They get to the playoffs. Peyton Manning, Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, you ain't have to do all that. You ain't have to do that. That was a little cheap shot. I see what you did there, but it's okay.
Everybody got their ass whooped though.
Hey, you see, but you see what I'm saying? So it's like you're not battle tested until you are. Because we can say the same thing about Luka. Luka, you ain't never been in the finals.
Nope, he is not. But I made my point when I first started talking that Luka is already, Jason Tatum is not already an all-time great playoff performer. Luka is, and like I said, throughout this playoffs, we've seen him get better every series. So I can only assume that he's going to be better than he was last round.
No, you can't, because LeBron James was an all-time great playoff performer. And then what happened when we seen him against the Mavericks?
That's one out of how many finals he's been to?
Exactly. Luka ain't been to none. You can't just expect that he gonna be like some all-time great. You can't expect that.
I'm guaranteeing.
I'm guaranteeing
that he is about to have I'm predicting an all-time great finals performance. Is he gonna break
Elgin? He gonna break Elgin Baylor's record? He gonna break one of Steph Curry's finals records? Which one he gonna do?
It's very possible.
No, I'm asking which one is he gonna do? Because those are all-time greats.
Give me Curry's. Give me Curry's. Yeah, and I think that when you was talking about
what you trying to put on that?
LeBron, how much you want to put on?
Whatever, dog.
Not on air if y'all bet money. Not on air if y'all bet money.
Okay, all right. We'll talk after.
I'm very confident. All right, but when you mentioned LeBron and Brady, right? How they wasn't really battle tested going into the finals, into the playoffs, whatever, and they went stupid. I think you just mentioned 2 guys that's in the GOAT debate for it's not really a debate for football. We know Tom Brady's the GOAT. You mentioned LeBron who's in the GOAT debate for basketball. I think Jason Tatum is not that. He's that guy, but he's not that guy, if that makes sense. Last time we seen him in the finals, and I understand he was younger, he went against the Warriors, but we saw in game 1, he shot 17%, game 2, 42%, game 3, 39%, right? He shot below 50 every single game. And when you look at, he also had 100 turnovers that whole entire playoff run. So Tatum is not a guy that I fear going into the finals. Yes, they are battle tested, but they're battle tested with losing. right? When you look at the Warriors, right? When you play them in the playoffs, we say they're very experienced. They have that championship pedigree. They are battle tested, but they've also won throughout those battles. We
They
seen
didn't
the
get that
Celtics.
championship pedigree until you win the championship.
You're right. But
Jordan did.
when I say,
Jordan didn't have a championship pedigree until he got over the hump and won a championship.
yeah,
Neither one of these teams got the championship pedigree.
All right, I shouldn't use that word, championship pedigree. Battle tested. I feel like if you're battle tested, but you keep losing, why would I fear you? That's my question. Like if yes, you're battle tested. Last year we saw you go against the Miami Heat, who you was clearly better than. Sold the bag. When you went against the Warriors, I think they had a better roster than the Warriors at that time. They sold the bag. This is almost like the 49ers of the
Because the
NBA.
Warriors were battle tested. You talk about the all-time debate in this generation. People keep calling this the Steph Curry generation, the Steph Curry era. So you going against one of them, and so that's what I'm saying. So again, just because you get there and lose, don't mean you don't gain that experience. Am I correct?
Very correct. But they got there and lost against the Warriors. Then last year got to the Eastern Conference Finals and lost to the Miami Heat with one superstar. So they was battle tested, right? And they got experience in that championship. Then they wouldn't have lost to the Miami Heat last year, right?
But it's
or
not
is this a team that in the biggest moment they can sell the bag?
At the same time, this is also a different team.
Exactly. Did they not go out and add Derek White, Kristaps Porzingis? That means a lot.
Drew Holiday as well.
Drew Holiday.
I do not think that if I put money on it, if the bet is will Porzingis excel in the finals or will he decline in the finals under the bright lights, which he's never been? You talk about Luka have never been there. Porzingis never been there before. Yeah. He's been hopping from the Knicks to the Mavericks to the Wizards.
But here's my thing. When he was on the Mavericks. What did they do? Here's what I'm saying. Luka can continue at this level that he's on, playing that he's at, and they could still lose.
It's possible. It's very possible. That's why the most important player, we haven't talked about it, but the most important player in this series to me is Kyrie. We know what Luka gonna bring, but is Kyrie gonna bring that extra that they need to win it?
All right, Ray, let's stay right there because we're gonna get to that point. We can expand on that. But the Tatum disrespect is kind of getting out of hand, and you kind of did that as well, Mr. Best, when you was like, I don't really fear him. I mean, you was highlighting. I mean, Luka leading his team in points, rebound, assists. I mean, Jason Tatum doing the same exact thing. You know what I'm saying? I know you went to his percentages and cool, it fit your narrative that he's playing bad, but also he's leading his team in points, rebounds, and assists. The best team in the NBA at that, the entire year. You know what I'm saying? So when we talk about the disrespect, I mean, come on now. Let's put some respect on Jason Tatum's name. At some point, the disrespect got to stop. You know what I'm saying?
But my problem with Tatum, and I don't think it's a problem with him. It's a problem with the people around him. All right, if you didn't watch the Celtics at all, right, and you just started watching them throughout these playoffs, when I watch the Celtics play, and my little brother's a huge Jason Tatum fan, and he will agree because I told him this too. When I watch the Celtics play, I really can't tell who's the number one option. When I say that, I feel like Joe Mazzulla and the rest of the Celtics roster believe that Jaylen Brown is their guy. That's what I get when I watch the Celtics play, because I see they trying to get the ball to him a lot more, and it's because Tatum is an all-around good player, right? He's gonna get you the rebounds, right? He's gonna get you the points. He's gonna play defense. Jaylen Brown, he has the mindset of a number one option. You give him the ball, he's gonna go try and score. So I feel like because he is like that, because he has that mentality, that Mamba mentality, if you will, I feel like his teammates, mentality. I didn't say he is the Black Mamba. I said mentality, because
that's the part. That's the part. The Mamba mentality. That's the part. That's the annoying part.
You don't think he does? You don't think when Jaylen Brown gets the ball in his hands, you don't think that the first thing in his mind is to go score? That's what I see when I see Jaylen Brown play. I see him saying, "This is my team." So I feel like there's also an identity crisis with this team.
No. I can't allow you to say that Jaylen Brown is gonna Jaylen Brown may think that it's like he has to say I know I can go out and get my own, but if you got the Mamba mentality, I'm sorry, Jason Tatum he's not going to be the one that leads in field goal attempts because guess what? I'm going to be setting up these shots. I'm the one that's going to have the end all be all.
Who you saying Tatum is?
No, if Jaylen Brown got this Mamba mentality that you mentioned, he's not going to be the guy where it's just like, all right, in the playoffs, Jason Tatum taking more shots than me. He's leading our team in points. No, like this team should run through me. The Mamba mentality is going to tell Jason Tatum, nah, dog, give me these shots. Am I wrong in that? Am I wrong in saying that?
You're 100% right, and I think that's what I'm saying. I feel like Jaylen Brown. I think if we look at the shot attempts, I don't have it pulled up nothing like that, but I'm pretty sure Jaylen Brown has been taking more shots than Tatum. I would actually put money on
in this playoffs.
Yeah,
Jason Tatum has, in the playoffs as a whole, Jason Tatum has more shots than Jaylen Brown, and he has more points than he's averaging more points than Jaylen Brown.
So he does have more shots for sure.
Rebounds and assists.
Oh yeah, no, and that's the thing too. I'm not saying Jaylen Brown's a better player. By far, I'm not saying that. We all agree on this panel that Jason Tatum is the better player. Like Jason Tatum is in the top 10 debate or top 5, top 8 debate. Jaylen Brown's not even in the top 10 debate. So I'm saying Jason Tatum is the better player. We all agree that he's the better player. But when I watched the Boston Celtics play, if I didn't know who Tatum was or who Jaylen Brown was prior to me watching, when I watched them play, I'm like, is Jaylen Brown the guy on this team? And I feel like the teammates are right. There's one possession I'll never forget in the Pacers series when Brown was posted up and the ball's in Derek White's hand. Jason Tatum was posted up and the ball's in Derek White's hand and he passed up on giving it to him. They swung it back around to Jaylen Brown posted up on the other side of the court. Like, it's just little stuff like that that makes me believe, you know what? I feel like that everybody thinks that Brown is the guy on the team. That's in the locker room. Everybody on TV, everything like that, we know Tatum is the best player on the team. But even Kendrick Perkins came out and said recently, he said Jaylen Brown's the best player. It shouldn't even be a debate. But
just because somebody said something doesn't mean it. Let me ask you this.
They do this often too.
Right. Because they're always gonna try and, if there's two really good people on a team, they're always gonna try and pit them together. Oh, whose team is it really, man? Let me ask you this. When you mentioned you didn't know if Kyrie going to Dallas would work because Luka's usage was extremely high.
Too high, yep.
Well, here's my thing. If Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown both have a very, very similar usage rate, but can give you production regardless of who you think is better, don't you think that would make them harder to defend, harder to guard, and harder, like a tougher matchup? Because now I got two guys that, regardless of who you think is better, can go and get it.
Yeah, but we got the same thing on the flip side with Dallas. We got two guys that can go get it. So to me, it's evenly matched right there. When you talk about the two with Boston, the two with Dallas, I would even give the edge to the two with Dallas. I think that's a better duo than Brown and Tatum. Okay. So I agree with you on that one.
But here's my thing. You have that. And yes, we talk about Luka playing really good defense in the playoffs and really stepping it up. But now we're talking about two of your top guys who really can defend and still have high usage. That's one of the things that you saw with Anthony Edwards while he was over there looking like Jimmy Butler getting oxygen in the goddamn in the tunnel, because his usage got to be so high, and he's the one that got to do it for you on offense. Maybe is it like, okay, you know what? Our usage is just high because, we both have the same amount of defensive win shares and we can play off of each other. And, like I said, hey, you guard the number one guy and I'm gonna come down and try and get our buckets. I'm gonna give you a breather. Now I'm gonna get the buckets, and we're gonna do that. And then now we still got guys out here that will also have a very, very high defensive rate on you now as well. So when it comes down to it, hey, I may believe as Jason Tatum, I'm the number one guy, and I'm still gonna guard your number one guy.
So I got a question.
Go ahead.
So of course we got Luka, we got Kyrie, we got Jason Tatum, we got Jaylen Brown. We know they the stars, they the 1A, 1B. We know they the two. Just get them out of the equation. who's your X factor for both teams?
I'll let you go, Jalen.
All right, so you're taking those two out, right?
Yeah, we're taking those two out
For both
for
teams.
both teams, taking the 2 stars out that we know for sure out.
Mhm.
Who is the X factor?
All right, so for Boston, the X factor would be Porzingis, because if he is the guy everybody says he is, which I disagree with, if he's the guy everybody says it is, then Boston should win this series, hands down. Because he's a guy that a 7-footer that can open the floor up, right, can space the floor, can hit his shot, right, can be a nice rim protector too. So he is, and he's gonna be the biggest guy on the court at all times. Like there's no the Mavericks don't have any 7-footers that can go toe to toe with Porzingis. So if he comes with the hype that people are saying, oh, Porzingis coming back. If he comes with that, then I think the Dallas Mavericks will struggle a lot. But for the Mavericks, I think it's going to have to be PJ Washington, hands down. I think he has the big reason why he's been a big part of this run because he's hitting his open shots. Right, you're going to get open shots. There's eyes on Luka. There's eyes on Kyrie. PJ has to hit his open shots. Same goes for everybody else, but he's the one that has been hitting his open shots. So if he can continue to play at a high level like he's been doing offensively, then I think that the Mavericks will definitely have a big chance to win the finals.
AJ?
So for the Boston Celtics, I'm probably going to take yours, but I don't care because
That's why I let you go this time.
Right, it's going to be Drew Holiday for me.
Oh, you didn't take mine. Go ahead.
Oh, all right. So for the Celtics, to me, it's Drew Holiday. Because now, again, that's another person that can, score at a high level, defend at a high level that you can throw in with some of the guys that they already have. And for the Dallas Mavericks, Jason Kidd. It's, to me, Jason Kidd he's been putting on a really good
Coaching
showing.
Clinic.
Like, throughout these playoffs and really getting guys involved and putting guys in the right place, and he's been hitting the right buttons. And so to me, with Jason Kidd doing the things that he could do, and us kind of seeing like the Celtics having these start games, and there's still being questions about Joe Mazzulla.
Big questions.
I think Jason Kidd is the X factor for the Dallas Mavericks, because if he could start pressing some of these buttons and do some of the things that it's really going to make Joe Mazzulla kind of question himself, make him think twice, make him unsure, and kind of, have his team looking at him like, damn, you ain't really the leader. And we got to kind of take things into our own hands, and, that team start playing a little bit, out of their realm, and he can't rein them back in. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be a long series for Boston.
I got Derek White is my X factor for the Celtics. Like I said, if he can just be Derek White, the Derek White that we know for him to be,
hit threes and defend.
That's going to be very key and very vital to what they got going on. Like I said, I'm not saying that he's going to stop Luka. You can't stop Luka, but I'm saying if he can make that matchup tough, I believe that, like I say, they have a good clear advantage if he's playing up to his capabilities. On the flip side, I think it's Derrick Jones. Derrick, I think his defense is definitely going to be key. Like I said, anything on the offense is definitely going to be, icing on the cake. But they're going to need him to defend. Like, we're gonna need to be questioning if Tatum got the dog in him, all that. Can Jaylen Brown go left? We want to hear all that necessary rhetoric because of his defense, like you say. And if he's doing that, like I said, it allows, like I said, I do understand that PJ Washington is a good defender, but I do not know if he can defend this team. Now, I don't know if this is the matchup for him. So if he can do his thing on the defensive end, like I said, it helps everything else because, like I said, they're lively, been able to play live. Gafford is they're able to play their game. You know what I'm saying? They just ain't got it. They ain't getting blown by immediately off the rip and then, getting in foul trouble off the rip. He's doing his job on one or the other. So I think that was going to be the key factors when it comes to that. You did allude to Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd had definitely been put on a coaching clinic. He didn't even have to make any adjustment when it came to the Timberwolves series. So he just in his bag. Hey, this is what we practice. Continue to do it. Joe Mazzulla. I mean, once again, man, like he been here before though. Like
he been here, but he wasn't head, right? Because that was Ime Udoka, right?
Yeah, but then last
He
year,
was there. He was there, but he just wasn't the. He wasn't the.
and last year you tricked it up. So do you learn from your mistake?
Yeah.
Do you allow? Like I said, everybody has a game plan. Everybody, it always who forces the adjustment first. That's in all the sports. So if you allow the Mavericks to do exactly what they did against the Timberwolves, just to play their game, you get your ass whipped. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't make these teams do adjustments on both ends, then you in for a long night, bro. You in for a long night.
Yeah, and I like that answer because my bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm finished.
Okay, all right. I like that answer. Him being the X factor because, like y'all said, so many questions around Joe Mazzulla. Right, he was just handed that job, and since he's had it, he hasn't reached expectation. Like last year was his first real test, and he dropped the bag in the Eastern Conference Finals. And then this year, I feel like, and I understand the battle tested discussion we just had. I feel like he had a little cakewalk to this year specifically. Just talking about this year, he's had a little cakewalk to the NBA Finals. So this is going to be the series where he has to. It's going to be his coaching that's going to help them win. And throughout the series, think about football and basketball, right? In football, you have one chance to make a game plan. There's only one game. There is no series, right? In basketball, eventually it's going to turn into a game of chess. Right. The first game kind of fill out game, right? You come out with your original game plan. The best player is gonna play the best, right? And then after that, the game plan starts coming into it. And that's why basketball, to me, you can make the argument, is the NFL playoffs better or is the basketball playoffs better? Because people that are fans of coaches, you get to see those adjustments made throughout the whole entire series. So to me, when it gets to the game,
coming to see these coaches.
But that's why I said people that are into like the coaching aspect of it. Not everybody. I know that the average fan don't care about the coaches. They want to see the stars. But like me, because I coach with, y'all know I coach with my dad AAU basketball. So I'm paying attention to adjustments that are made. So that's really intriguing to me. And I feel like when we get to game 5, 6, and 7, if it goes 7, who do you trust down the line? Jason Kidd or Joe Mazzulla? So I think you're right. He is a huge Jason Kidd is a huge X factor because if he can out coach Joe Mazzulla, which I believe he will, I think the Dallas Mavericks have the edge.
If he getting out coached like the Timberwolves coach, both coaches got out coached. It's over in 5.
Chris Finch.
Chris Finch and the assistant coach that was standing up because it's over in 5. If he get out coached this bad, this is over in 5.
Yeah, that was bad, but hopefully he's not getting that out coach because he don't got a Rudy and Cat that just played like dumbass basketball where it's almost like, bro, do y'all know the fundamentals? And let me not get started on them too. That shit was so frustrating.
Rudy looked terrible.
You want me to apologize to you? Hey man,
I spoke too soon.
This was premature. You know, that's why I didn't. Hey, but this was fun. Hopefully everybody enjoy. I want to let people know if you're checking this out on Twitter, you're checking this out on Instagram, comments don't come up for us. So, so it's hard for us to respond to some of the comments as well. But I appreciate everybody that joined us on YouTube. I know y'all catch us on major podcast platforms, 3Man Weave, Instagram, Twitter, 3Man Weave _ Jalen, and shout out all your stuff.
All right, real quick, y'all are definitely invited to the Straight to the Point podcast. I'm gonna do sometime like during training camp. I'm gonna do like an NFL vault kind of thing where we kind of break down who gonna win each division, right? How team seasons are gonna look. So I definitely want to do a collab with y'all on my platform.
Absolutely.
Because I feel like for me personally, like I do basketball and football, but football that's my heart. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
don't worry. That's when we come alive too.
Oh yeah. That's like this, I'm coasting through the NBA, right? But when it gets to NFL, that's when I'm on it. So I do want y'all to come do that with me. I'm still playing it out, so I'll let y'all know how it is. But that's the next time y'all probably see us do a collab. But yeah, check out your boy J Bess on Straight to the Point podcast on YouTube and also on Instagram. All
right, man. I appreciate everybody that joined us. Catch us now on live, or you catch us on the playback, and it's lit. We are.
I'm finna go get a tan too because I'm sick of here.